Hey. So we're going to be talking today about an inspiring dentist who has created a magnificent piece of work that's very helpful for a lot of new dentists. And so we're going to be talking to student doctor Arnelle Wright. I said that right?
Yes, sir.
Arnelle Wright. And she's currently a fourth year student at
Mm-hmm.
the University of Florida.
Yes.
So, student Dr. Wright, tell me a little bit about this this blueprint that you've created, and why you felt the need to create it, and your steps in creating it, what success you've had with it, and then what issues or what solution you're trying to solve or come up with now that I can help you with.
Okay. So the blueprint, it was basically, I would say, birthed kind of out of some frustrations or some misunderstandings that I had when I first transitioned from the classroom setting into clinic. So between second year of dental school into third year of dental school.
Okay.
It's not that, and I kind of want to make this clear too, it's not that I wasn't taught about like clinic and things like that, because of course we're taught about it and we talk about it in certain classes like treatment planning and things like that. But there were just certain things for me, the way that I learned. I don't feel like I can be told like a whole bunch of information all at once. It may sound really crazy, but I kind of need to be shown a lot of things and shown with like the most accurate resource or the most accurate tools that we're using or most recent tools that we're using at that time. So I say all that to say, once I got into clinic, I just felt like, okay, what do I do now? We have a big little system at our school, but everybody's trying to meet requirements. Everybody's trying to, see their patients, trying to get out of there or whatever. Everybody's focus is a little bit different.
Right.
So I started, when I got in clinic, I started feeling like, okay, I feel like we need just a kind of go-to guide for if something is not available to go over how do I add this note into the system, or how do I write a note and sound like a clinician or a developing clinician and not sound crazy, so that the person who comes behind me looks at it and they're like, what were you thinking when you wrote this note? So I just felt like I needed some type of reference, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I basically started jotting down notes. I'm a really good note taker. So every morning in huddle, if my team leader would say something like, give us not a trick of the trade, but just like a different way of doing something, or if they would kind of coach us through how to present treatment to the patient, or how to just tell your patient that, okay, this is the cost of it, as opposed to this, or this is the treatment that you really, really need, as opposed to what you're trying to do, because, for whatever reason, this other alternative that you would want to go with patient is not the best alternative. So anytime that those type of conversations were happening, I would just be jotting down notes. I started just keeping like a running notebook of huddles every morning, just because honestly, I was just hungry, and I'm like, okay, I'm paying a lot of money to be here. I want to basically maximize on all the money that I'm spending to become a dentist, and I don't want to just leave with the basics. So, anywho, I basically started writing the blueprint, and I started just listening to how faculty would present treatment, or when they would come over to give me the start check, or when we would be talking to other students, and if I wasn't busy and if I were waiting in line, I would just listen to how they say certain things. And then I was like, oh man, I should probably do that too when I have the same situation, I'm facing the same type of treatment for a patient. So I basically just started taking notes a lot and just being like a fly on the wall as much as I could. And taking that information in, writing it down, and then I put it in a manual, and then I just started to develop more from that. So I'm like, well, if help a ton of other students because truthfully, I'm just saying this because this is how I feel, but I feel like the truth is a lot of students have a lot of questions that they're afraid to ask just because they may not want to seem like the person that like doesn't know that one particular thing. And so I felt like, okay, like a manual would kind of take that away so that, you know what I mean? Like everybody, It would even the playing field somewhat. It would even the playing field and everybody would have like the same type of resource and like even if they couldn't go to their VIG or they could take that and say, hey, can you walk me through these steps? I have the blueprint or I have the manual here with me, but I don't want you to walk me through it on an actual computer or something. I don't know. So that's kind of where it came from. That was a very long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
No, it gives some better background as to the reason why it was created, what was the purpose behind it, and how it's evolved. Now, you mentioned in your email that you sent to me that you've had some really good success. A lot of it of which you really did not plan on or did not expect it. Primarily because it went from something going to your classmates to now other classes below you having that information and utilizing it in the clinic. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't sell it to my classmates because I kind of thought that would be a little bit insulting. But I actually sold it to the class right beneath me, but the class beneath them, so the now second years they've a lot of them, at the time that I was selling it to the third years, some of the second years kind of tagged on. But now, for the treatment planning class, I've been asked to kind of resell it to them again, to the second years. So all the people who didn't buy it the first round when it was released this past April,
right,
to make it available to those students again.
Okay. And what do you sell the blueprint for? What is it, this guide that you come up with? How much do you sell it for, and how many sales have you had since its inception?
I sell it for $20. So on my website, it's advertised for a different price, just because that was the fee that I sold it for at University of Florida. I had to take into account like if people wanted to buy it and they wanted it shipped. So it's a little bit price higher on my website, but here at UF, I sold it to the students for $20, which is actually a steal because it's a very lengthy book and it's in print.
How many pages?
Color, I think 130, between like 128 30 pages. And I'll say the last 8 to 10 pages are just blank with lines so that if a student needs to take notes on something while they're in clinic, they can use that. Or that was my vision, was that they can use the blueprint and keep all of their notes in one location. If they're old school like me, they still write things down.
Right. Wow. So basically 120, 130 pages for a book of knowledge for $20. Yeah, that's like basically 50 cents a page.
That's like I know. It's crazy because...
Not even that. Less than that.
Yeah, no. It's really lengthy because like there's a lot of pictures. I go through anything that I really struggled with or I felt like students just may not know or they will want to have like right beside them. But sometimes, even when you're treating a patient, like you can just have the book open at your computer and jot down, like have a legend or have some type of skeleton of how your notes should sound about the treatment that you provided.
Right.
So, to be like just a ready source, and it's really been great. I don't know. I'm very surprised because I'm still a student, and so but students really responded well to it. I have to say that at our school.
How many of units have you sold of this guide?
How many people have I sold it to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I can estimate at least 85 students at the school.
Okay. Now you said you don't know. Is that because when they buy it off your website, or do you send it to them like in an ebook, or is it something that you physically give to them?
I hadn't tallied up are like counted. I keep running like just a receipt book, and I just hadn't counted all of the receipts. Like I have a carbon copy from all of the receipts. I print the book out, and I just basically do like one delivery. I'm like, hey, I'll take your orders. Use this link to PayPal, and they'll just pay through PayPal. Since they're at my school, I didn't have to like deliver, like ship it or anything like that. So I just I would bring the box and put it in my locker, and then during lunch, I would set up like at a table in our like community study area, and just tell the students who purchased to meet there, or if they weren't able to do it that day, I would meet them another day and give it to them. But I mainly like distributed them all around the same time when the students were just about to enter clinic after they had finished their board.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So you mentioned about printing. What did you do to print it? How did you print it?
I actually tried to work out a deal. There's a local printing company here, and because I purchased in bulk, so I waited until like the orders were increased, and then that's when I told the printing company here that okay, I will have this many books. Could you like give us a discount so that I could get the book printed for a very low fee? So that it didn't cost me that much money. It costed me a little more money than it did that I made, but I figured because it was like pilot, I just didn't know how successful it was going to be. I was kind of like willing to take that risk. My fiance, he helped me too, so I went about it that way.
Okay, I got you. All right. Now, what's your current plan for the project or for the guidebook?
Well, honestly, I'd like to keep it around. I've updated it since its release in April. I saw there were some things that I had learned new, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this would be great to add to the book." So I would like to keep it around here in town at the school that I'm attending, UF. I would like to expand it to other dental schools who either use our same system or who could benefit just from having, a resource for clinics, their kids, their students going into clinics. I really just don't want it to die down because I saw the response that it had this year, and I see the response that it's having, like, again already. Like, I hadn't even made it available again because I didn't want to bombard the students. I know that the second years, they're not even thinking about clinics that much yet, but they could be. So, I don't know. I've had people ask me about it because I'm graduating in May. They're like, hey, I don't want to not get the book before you go, so release it a little bit earlier. And I'm like, sure, So, with that in mind, or with that being said, I really want it to stay around. And I want students to not, you're going to struggle when you get into clinics, but it's a different type of struggle, though. But I just think that students, if you need like a resource, I want to have my resource.
Right. So you want to make sure that that you're going to update. Your plan is to update it, to maybe add some content, try to expand it to other schools, and basically keep it around.
I would love that.
Keep it around and keep it viable. Are you planning on doing a residency next year after you graduate?
My goal was to do a pediatric specialty, so we'll see how that goes. The cycle is now open, and I'm just waiting to hear back from schools about interviews and things like that. And if not, my contingency option or, my next alternative will be to start working upon graduation and licensure and everything like that. But before I get off of, my other plan of the book, I do, and I know students were asking about if there could be, an electronic copy. So that is definitely in the works, too. I'm just talking to people who help, develop electronic versions or ebooks. So I'm trying to work on that as we speak, but it's just going to take a little bit of time. So right now, the second version will be in print as well, but the goal is to eventually get it in an ebook, post it, make it available through Amazon or different sites so that, students can have access to it. I'd love for schools to take it on or, do something like that.
Yeah. All classes. Tell me exactly what your question is that I can help you with, or you think I can help you with. What's
I was just wondering, basically, like what your thought was about it, which I kind of have an idea of what your thought was, and I guess like how you would go about, keeping it as a viable resource to students or something to that nature.
Okay, so I do have some thoughts, and I do have some ideas pertaining to the product. First and foremost, I think it's excellent. It kind of reminds me of what we had in dental school, which was called note service. We had this note service where volunteer. Well, first it was volunteer, but people got paid. People got paid to take notes. We had these recorders that we had in front of the classroom, and for each class, each subject, there was one note taker that was responsible for recording it, listening to it, and then writing notes as he or she listened to it. And then they put the notes together. And those that bought note service, might have been like $7, $8, $10 a month, whatever it was. They would have their notes for particular classes given to them in their mailboxes in dental school. So it kind of reminds me of like a written, like a service that you're providing with this information that's given to your either fellow classmates or other students in the school. So what you've tapped into is something that the school has not figured out what to do or how to do it, because there is a lot of transition that goes on from that second to third year. I mean, it's like starting school all over again. In the sense that you don't know, I mean, you have some idea what clinic's going to be like, but you don't know the ins and outs, and you don't have a guide to kind of put you through each and every step that you're going to have or that you're going to be confronted with being in clinic. So I think it's a great idea, and your plans to update it is good. Your plans to have it, in other schools, it's good, and things about keeping it viable. So those are my thoughts initially. As it relates to the action plan, some ideas that I have that are similar to in alignment with what you're wanting to do is, number one, you mentioned that you're part of SNDA nationally, right?
Yes, sir. I serve locally and nationally.
Okay. So, that's one outlet, whether it be locally, it may be something that the chapter can sell on your behalf, and maybe you give a portion to the chapter. I don't know. But that's one way of getting your reach out to those members, whether they be third year, second year, rising third years, or second year, what have you. That's one avenue locally. The second avenue is nationally. I mean, you were there this year in Atlanta. You saw how many different chapters and different schools were represented. Well, guess what? Yeah. Just like you had that transition from second to third year, those students have the same transition also, and it's very possible that it's not being created or not. There's not a guide for them either. So, you may be able to, I mean, that's another avenue. The only thing is each school might be a little bit more unique depending on the system that they use and the different requirements. So one way that's another avenue to tap into to get it out to other schools. The challenge or the thing that you have to look into is, how does my particular guide, since it applies to University of Florida, how would that apply to University of Maryland, or how that's going to apply to Columbia or NYU? Right. And because you have some SNDA contacts at some of those other schools, you may want to tap into them and see what the environment is like as far as transitions to schools. I mean, you may even want to do a survey or something.
Okay.
Since you can use those people at those schools and do a survey to see what the biggest challenges people have. Via Survey Monkey or something like that. I mean, that might be a way so you can find out if there really is a need and which schools have the need. And you may be able to have the SNDA presidents at each of those schools disseminate the information to the students within that school to see if this is something that they would be interested in.
Okay, yeah.
So that might be a way of helping you get it to other schools. You mentioned it. The third thing was you mentioned that you want to keep it viable, keep it going, even though you're graduating as a fourth year. So, well, my initial thought is you've got to let people know that it exists. And you've got to work on your referrals. I mean, if you got 85 units that are out there, each of those people know at least one person, maybe two people. So what if everybody that bought from you, 85 people tell two people? That's an additional 170 sales. Right. So not only is it going to help your bottom line, but it's also going to disseminate that information out to other students. So you got another 150 people. What if one of those, what are those two, if each person told two people, then you got another 300 units sold.
Right.
So it's only going to stay alive and as viable as you market it and people know about it. So you got to get some more attention about your product.
Okay.
All right, you gotta get some attention, and let me see. Hold on, referrals, attention, and one of the ways you can get attention is for the 85 people that have already bought your book. You need to get their email address and tell them and write them a note and say, "Hey, thank you for purchasing it. Hope it's been very helpful. If you have some ideas or some thoughts, give me your feedback. Also, feel free to, give me two names of people that you know that might benefit from this, and give me their email address."
I did a survey. I just hadn't sent it out yet. I didn't know if the students basically have only had it for summer, their first semester in clinic. So I was thinking maybe I should give them until their end of their second semester to see if they're still using it or if they've learned everything in one semester. So maybe I could just send out the survey now since they've had it for some time now.
When did the people that used it that are juniors or third years that are now officially in clinic, when did they start clinic? At what point?
They started in about mid-July.
Okay, so July, August, September. So they've had it for 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, I will follow up. I would follow up now, October, and then in 2 months in December, follow up with some emails. But you can only follow up with them. The way that you can maximize your time and your effort is if you have all those 85 people, all their emails, and you send them all a group email.
I do. Yeah, I have them all in a running spreadsheet. That was another way that I wanted to keep up with who purchased, how many they purchased. So I do have all of that in an Excel document.
Okay, good. So you got to communicate to them. Say, again, some type of email, some type of communication that says, "Hey, thanks you for your purchase. Hope you've been enjoying it. What things do you like about it? What things would you like to add to it? Who do you know that may benefit from it? Send me 2 names and email addresses so that we can share this information with your classmates." And and that's part of your follow up. So I would do that sometime in the next week or so because they would have had it for 2 months. And then I would follow up again with another type of email or some type of communication right before winter break, sometime before the holidays, before the end of the year. So that way they've got a full 5.5, 6 months, and they can give you some more feedback because they would have had it more than 3 months, and get some feedback from it.
Thank you. Okay.
I mean, I think that's the best way of expanding it. Not only, that's the best way to expand it in your local environment, because that guide is more exclusive to University of Florida.
Right.
And then as far as, after dental school, when you get into pedo, or if you're going to start working, the only way you're going to keep it viable is if you keep in connection with the people that are at the school.
Right. That's definitely a plan.
Yeah, so you've got to stay connected with all those people that buy your product now that are either seniors or juniors. The seniors, when they graduate, like yourself, they're going to know somebody in junior clinic, or maybe in the second year class, that may could benefit, or going to be going and transitioning into clinics. So you got to ask them for referrals, and don't have any back off on it. Like, don't have any counter intention. Like, well, I don't know if I will ask them. I don't want to bug them. No, you've got something that people don't even know they need. See,
that's probably been my downfall, because I'm like, I don't really want to bombard people with a bunch of emails and this and that, or to make it seem like, I don't know. I don't know. It might have been just like a fear thing. Me being the...
Okay, but what are you fearful of? Fearful of people saying no? Or people...
Right.
Okay, well, if they say no just means not right now.
I know.
Because look, you spent a lot of time and effort creating this, which is something that evidently people need and they want, because you got 85 people that's loving and using your product, right? So at some point, you were passionate about getting this thing created for the reasons that you shared with me. And it has helped some people. So if part of your passion and part of your purpose is to help others with this guidebook, you're not going to be able to fulfill your passion and your purpose if you don't get if people don't get your blueprint.
I know. Okay, you're right.
So don't be reasonable about it. That's what kills a lot of businesses. It kills a lot of goals that people have, being reasonable. I've done the same thing in my practice and in getting things done, not wanting to offend people or think I'm offending people by being pushy. But the thing is, we as human beings get bombarded with marketing and other people's products all day long, via TV, via social media, but I mean, that's a way of life. People offering services to people who have problems, and what they're offering is a solution. Well, you're not any different. You are offering a solution to a problem that you have identified, that you yourself have identified and have gone through, and other people that are going through it. You've provided a solution because so now you have to allow that solution to help other people. Otherwise, the other things about your plan, it's not gonna. You're wasting your time. If you're trying to expand other schools, if you're trying to keep it viable, and you're spending time to update it, well, there's no need to do any of those three things if you're not going to let people know and get attention. Let people know about your product.
You're right.
It's going to be the same thing when you get into private practice, whether it's pedo or GP or whatever. People don't know what you can do, what you can offer them if you don't tell them. Right?
Yes, sir.
Miss Jones, you can't help Miss Jones if Miss Jones doesn't know what the solution is. Right? You can't help her. You can't help her. And you spend all this time in school, over 12 years in school, a lot of money, a lot of investment to basically help provide a service that helps people. But if nobody knows that Dr. Wright exists or where she's at or what she can do, then you've made an investment in something that now you can't utilize.
Yes.
Because your investment involves people knowing who you are, what you do, and knowing that you have a solution to fix their problem, whether it's pain or a broken tooth or crooked tooth or dark teeth, missing teeth. All those are problems people have that they're seeking solutions for. And that's what we do. We provide oral health care and solutions for people who have issues with their oral health. But we can't help them if they don't know that you can help them in your area. I can't help the people here in the Princeton area who are embarrassed or have less confidence about their smile because their teeth are crooked or their teeth are dark in the front. You know, they're in sales and they don't want to smile. Every picture that they take, you know, they're closing their mouth and you can't see them. I mean, they can't see their teeth. I can't help that person if with a solution if they don't know that a solution exists. So all my skills and time and CE and money I'm spending on investing in myself, I can't put those to use if people don't know who the heck I am, or if I'm going to be reasonable and I don't want to offend. Well, I don't know if I want to tell people that, you know, whitening is an option, because then they might feel like I'm saying their teeth are not white enough. Hey, again, you can't be worried about what people think. Their opinions of you or what you're doing are just that, theirs. They're not yours. They are their. That's their opinions. You've got a product you're passionate about. You spend a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, long nights, and effort into providing the solution that people want, and you want to help more people. So the only way you can do that is letting people know, hey, I'm Dr. Wright. I got a solution. It's called a blueprint. It helps with transitioning into clinics in dental school. Unless you know everything about transitioning into clinics, then you need to get this guide. Unless you are, this is the second time around you've been a rising third year dental student and you've done this before, you need to get this guide.
Right.
I mean, and you may even have to create some marketing pieces that with bullet points, you know, 3 or 4 main reasons why you need this guide. And one of the things that's going to help you disseminate or distribute this guide out to people is people that already have the product. The 85 people that you have are going to do the marketing for you, at least 50% of the marketing for you. But you've got to ask them and tell them, hey, James, you bought my book. How's it going? You bought the blueprint. How do you like it? What do you like most about it? And things like that. You can have what I call success stories that are quotes from your customers, and you can post that use that as part of your marketing. You know, here is what people here. You have that?
Yes, sir. I have just messages that I've saved from people who have either emailed me, Facebook me, messaged me on Instagram, or texted me just about how thankful they were that I wrote the book or that I spent the time and how beneficial it's been. So I have a lot of those saved in a folder. But again, I guess, you know, just that fear factor. So now I have a little bit more empowerment beneath me. So I will definitely start utilizing that to my advantage for sure.
Yeah, you've got to capitalize on that data, because right now having all that stuff means nothing if it means nothing if you can't get that in front of people to get purchases. Now, one of the things that everybody struggles with, and I've struggled with it too. I've been practicing nearly 20 years now, and it's the same thing. Everybody struggles with the notion of time.
Right.
When in the heck am I going to have time to do this? I got all these other things I want to do that I have to do. I got to graduate. I got to do this. Got to spend time with my fiance. I got to eat. Got to work out. I got to study. I got to call these patients. I got to work on the blueprint. So,
right.
So it's all about, time. But one thing I don't want you to do, and I share this with a lot of other new dentists too, because I've done it, is make the comment that I don't have enough time.
Right.
I don't have enough time. Because what happens really is everybody's got the same amount of time each and every day. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. So if Jim over here on the left is getting things done within his 24 hours a day, there's no excuse that you can't. It's not that you don't have enough time, or we don't have enough time. It is we haven't really managed or learned how to control or make time work for us.
Right.
So just like I've taken some time out to talk to you today, I got other stuff I need to be doing too. But if it's on your line of purpose or something that's important for you to do, you'll figure out how to work or how to schedule your 24 hours in a day to make sure that you have time to do it. Because at the end of the day, we want to spend time doing things that make us happy. Right? So,
yes, sir.
So one of the things you have to figure out, moving on from today's call and from today's chat, is you've got to look at your schedule, your daily schedule as a fourth year dental student, aspiring pediatric dentist, aspiring person that's in a relationship, and an aspiring entrepreneur that has an amazing product called the Blueprint that is just really, really helping a lot of people. You got to figure out how you are going to get all those things done. And the only person who has that solution is you. You have to be strategic in mapping out and carving out and utilizing all 24 hours of your day. And that may mean that you may have to give up some things or not do certain things to get the things that are important to you into your schedule.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So those are the things that I think will kind of help you as you continue to grow this project. Keep in mind the one thing that you have on your side that a lot of entrepreneurs didn't have 20, 30 years ago is this social media.
I knew you were going to say that.
Social, you on it, and you've dibbled and dabbed in it, and I'm just now dibbing and dabbing in it. That's how we kind of found one another, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Up until this point, you didn't know who the heck I was, and I didn't know who you were. But the luxuries of social media allow us to be connected, and what that means is that you're connected to other people that have the same problem that you've identified there's a need for, and you can share your solution with so many other people. So the information that you have on people that have already bought your product, the fastest way for you to get it out, to have it expand, which is one of your plans, expansion, keep it viable, and you're going to update the edition and maybe even look into doing an ebook. The only way that you're going to be able to do it is you got to do it fast.
Yes, sir.
You got to do it fast. What is it? It was some guy, a friend of mine who has a podcast. He says speed is the new currency.
Wow.
Speed is the new currency, meaning if you don't get your ideas into the marketplace fast, then it may affect your currency or may affect your ability to survive. If you've got a product that can help people, and people are willing to exchange money or time to get that product, and you're helping people, and it's helping you with your family and taking care of yourself and your family, then you've got to use speed in your calculations to get your targets or your goals done.
That's a great quote that you have there. I just jotted it down in my phone. I've been keeping a running list of everything you have encouraged me and told me to do. So I'll definitely start by following up with the purchasers, the people who have it at my school right now.
Yeah, you definitely should, because those are the people that are going to be able to help speed up this process for you. And what you're doing by asking them, what you're doing by sending an email to them within, I would tell you probably want to do in the next 7 days.
I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to get it. Start working on it this afternoon, actually.
Yeah. Happy fall. Welcome to October.
Yep.
This is Student Dr. Wright, just checking up, following up with you. Want to see how you've been utilizing the content of the blueprint. How has it worked for you? What do you like best about it? What are some things that you would want to see updated or added? And who else do you know that could benefit from the information that's in this book? Give me their names and their email addresses so we can help them too. And you just follow up with them. Because what they're going to do for you, Doc, is they're going to leverage what you're trying to do and speed up that process. Because now you by telling those 85 people, you have just multiplied yourself 85 times.
Right.
And it's going to multiply to the point where if they just tell 2 people, you should ask them to give you 5 people. So that way you get at least 2. But what you do is every time that they refer you somebody, that means you've leveraged your efforts times how many new people that you get. So if you ask for 5 and you get 2 times 85 is 170. That means that you just leverage one action 170 times. And that's how you use time for yourself. That's how you leverage time, by being able to multiply yourself 170 times. Because now, instead of you having to go to 170 people, you've gone to 85 people that have bought your product, and you've just duplicated it 2 additional times each person. So now you're 170 strong.
Yes, sir.
Plus, and this is the last comment I have, plus, in business, there's some studies that have been shown that people will buy from people that they know, or make purchases based off of a referral.
Okay.
Right? That's how a lot of business is done now. It's based off of referral, especially for us as dentists. There's much more of a higher rate of return on patients that refer friends and family than it is if we're just trying to talk to somebody cold turkey that there's no relationship or no connection. Because people will do business with other people where they have some type of relationship with. So you've got a relationship right now with 85 people that are hopefully going to refer you anywhere from 2 to 5 people. And because you have that connection with those 85 people, they're going to be more willing to refer you people. And the people that they refer to you are going to be more willing to buy your product because their friend referred them to you, versus if you would try to call them and contact them directly yourself. So this is a good plan of action and good lesson for not only for this project with the blueprint, but also for as you transition and get into private practice, if you have aspirations of opening up your own office, or even if you're working as an associate. People that you meet on the street, you should be passing out your business cards, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that's been helpful. I, I want us to follow up. I want you to follow up with
Okay.
me maybe in about 2 weeks to let me know,
Okay.
how you're coming along with your October follow up of those 85 people that have bought your product. If you've gotten
Okay.
any feedback from them with regards to referrals, feel free to send me a copy of the email blast that you're going to send to them. If you want me to take a
Yes.
look at the verbiage, um,
Yes.
any of that, because
Okay.
I think you're on to something really, really good that people really need, and people don't even realize that they need it,
Right.
and they don't know it exists because it's just unknown right now. So one of the reasons why I wanted us to talk today is so that not only that I can help you, but also help you not only with the project, but also with getting it out to disseminating some people. So you and I talking today, I'm going to send this video out so that we can help more people, help more dental students, whether it's at your school or other schools that you're connected to. Let them know this might be an idea, and they may want to collaborate with you as it relates to their school, and that might be another source of exchange for you.
Yes. I love it. I'm definitely open to collaborating with other schools. I had a list of 5 schools that I was going to reach out to, just and tell them about the product.
Which schools?
LSU, University of Louisville, Nova, Southeastern, which is here in Florida, University of Maryland, and the other school, what was the other? Central College of Georgia was the other one that is on my list. So, yeah, I was going to start off small with like 5 schools and then go from there.
Okay, so that's a great idea, and I assume that you've got I assume that you've got the reason why that you picked those 5 schools is because you know somebody there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
See that how that works. What you're doing right now is you are utilizing what I call your power base or your network. You're utilizing your network, and that's where every entrepreneur, every business person should start with. You start with people you already know to help you with your product. So that's awesome that you've got those 5 schools and your work are going to be working with them. So same thing, just get it off the ground. Send them e-blasts. Do you guys have does the SNDA down there have a Facebook page or Instagram account?
Yes, sir. We have a private Facebook page. It's not open.
Okay. How do I have to be added to be joined onto any of those things?
I think so. I can check with the president. Last year I was vice president, so I know that like our webmaster, they handle all that, and we actually have a website as well. So I can check with whomever the new appointed person to that position is about how to get you access to our account. Our Facebook account?
Yeah, I just want to, I don't know, I know how some are groups, so I have a group that's on Facebook. I think I just added you to. It's called the New Dentist Development Network.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, it may be something like that. If not, I'll just continue to post stuff on our group and we can refer students there. What about, now what's your website address for the SNDA?
My website is for SNDA?
Yes, SNDA.
I have to get that one for you. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay.
I thought you were asking about mine.
Well, I think I have yours, but you know what you can do? Text it to me, and what I'll do is when I post this, I'll put your information down as far as your email address and your website, so that we can highlight and showcase the blueprint, and there's probably going to be some people from there's at least two people that I know, two schools that are represented that are part of the group from Maryland, one from Maryland, and a couple people from Regents, Georgia, Medical College of Georgia, whatever it's called now, that are part of the group. So when they see it, they'll be familiar with it also. So yeah, if you can text me the SNDA University of Florida website, that way I can see what you guys are doing and figure out if you guys have any messages that you want to get out. I can use it on my platform. You guys can communicate it on my platform, and then vice versa. Cause your goal.
Okay, and if I can share it as well. I have a daily dentist Facebook page where I just post things about oral hygiene, and I've posted about just my website, my blog about dental students transitioning into, or non-traditional dental students transitioning into dental school. So I can share it on both my personal and my private pages.
Now that part that you have with regards to for dental students and aspiring dental students, that's big too. I just got in connection with some friends of the family who's actually two daughters and a son who are first years at undergrads, and they already know they want to be dentists. And one of the things I encouraged them to do was start a pre-dental society at your school.
Yeah.
And so if you're also working with them with things like that, we may do best to also get those people connected to you.
I would love that. That's actually one of it sounds really weird to say one of my goals, but I just feel like I kind of had to figure out the whole dental school thing by trial and error. And so if I could present students, that's why I had the reaction, oh wow, when you said their first year, and they already know they wanted to be dentists. Because when I was a first year, I did not know that. So that's another place a way that my blog came about. I just started writing about my experiences, even clinic, just asking for help, not being, ashamed to reach out to someone, kind of like how I did with you. But yeah, so I would love to do that. And people kind of encourage and just, answer questions that, like you said, they may not even know that they have until they hear about it.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Winter Haven, Florida.
Okay, I know where that's at. That's Winter Haven, and that's close to Orlando, right?
That's usually most people relate it to the Orlando area. It's not directly in Orlando. It's a little ways away, but most people recognize it because of the Orlando area. So yeah, near Orlando.
Okay. And what did you say? How did you find out about me? Was it you saw me?
Well,
we met at the NDA meeting or something else?
Yeah, in Chicago, at I think it was a New Dentist panel, or you did the Q&A for one of the panels in Chicago, and at the time, I was just attending the conference, and that was the year that I was elected to my national position that I'm now holding for a second term.
Okay.
And then last year at the NDA one or this year in Atlanta. So it was two conferences, and I was like, oh man, I need to reach out. And then once we became connected through social media, and I was like, all right, probably a perfect person that I can just kind of share my ideas with and get some feedback, and so that's how.
So one of the things that I would encourage you to do, based on what you just explained to me, is if you want to keep this thing viable, this blueprint viable, guess where you have to go next year?
Oh yeah, the NDA business to Texas.
You gotta go to Texas. 2017, you gotta go to Texas. Guess where you gotta go in 2018?
I don't know where that one's located, but I'm assuming wherever the location is for that one.
Exactly, because that is where the source of the people that are going to exchange with you are going to be at.
Right.
You see?
I totally. Ever since I went last year, I was like, oh man, I definitely want to continue to be involved at CCA. And then, of course, when I transition out, just go ahead and jump into NTA. Like it's been phenomenal so far. So
Good.
that's the goal.
Good. Yeah, so that's definitely what I was going to say, because the only reason why we're talking today is because I made sure that I was involved and was in attendance at a place where I could meet people and eventually help them. I can't help anybody by myself at home inside the doors. I've got to go out to where people are. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with your product and your product with the blueprint. You've got to go where people are so that people can find out who you are. You get the attention so that you can help them with your product.
Yes, sir. That's definitely what I'll be doing. I think I have a better grasp and a better idea on how to get that done now. So I kind of got to speed up my actions here.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's your days are so jam packed that you don't know what day it is or what time it is. That means that you're doing it. Right. You're getting it done. It's the hard work that you're putting in. It's the work ethic. A lot of times we spend more time thinking about how to do it and making sure that we got our dots crossed, our I's teed, and our I's dotted and our T's crossed, that we try to figure it out, and then we forget.
And then you waste more time.
You waste more time and you forget about what you're really supposed to do, which is just do it.
Exactly.
So it sounds like you're on the right track. You got some good supporting information and some good strategies that I think are going to get you to where you're trying to go. I just ask that you keep in contact with me. Let's make each other accountable. Let's follow up in about a week or two. Let me know how you're coming along. You can send me an email, or you can call me on the phone if you need to. Just call. If I don't pick up, just leave a message. I'm probably working on a couple other projects just like you. So, and we'll figure out a time that we can kind of follow up and see how things go.
Okay, I look forward to doing that, and I really appreciate the time you spent with me thus far. I'm looking forward to more of these conversations and just more networking and collaborating with you. I really appreciate it. Okay,
that's good. And then I have one more thing to tell you as it pertains to plans after dental school. If you're planning on doing pedo and you apply to pedo, just keep in mind that you're going to be one of about 10,000 applications, of which they take about 8 to 9%.
Right.
Each school, pedo school, is an average of anywhere from 3 to 8 residents. So you kind of figure in the middle, about 6. So again, just like I think I said something to you about going to people and they say no and you being fearful. No just means no right now. All right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with applying to specialty programs. If you get a no this year, that just means no right now. If your goal and your purpose is to become a pediatric dentist, then you need to look at all options, all avenues to get there. Pedo is the number one specialty right now.
Okay.
Number one. So that means more people are applying, and that means those spots are even more coveted.
Yes,
so some of the things that they're doing to decrease the to decrease the applicant pool is they put in things like, they want to know your GPA. They use that as the thing to weed people out. And now, because a lot of schools are pass-fail, this new exam, the ADAT.
Right.
Any of those schools that you applied to, was it mandatory, or did they suggest it, or how did that work?
None of the schools I applied to required the ADAT.
Okay, so that means they're going to be looking at your GPA, Doc.
Right, I know.
They're going to be looking at your GPA. They're going to be looking at your personal statement, your CV, okay? Some of your research, if you got some research, but even more your exposure to pedo since you've been at University of Florida. So one of the things I want you to be aware of is that right now your goal is to get an interview. or get interviews.
Right.
Because that's the next step into beginning into matching at a program. You got to get an interview.
Yes, sir.
But also, I want you to be thinking with, if this is my final goal and this is my purpose to get to be a pediatric dentist, what other things can I do that's going to help me be a better candidate? And one of the things that helps is doing some type of residency prior to your specialty program.
Okay, like an AGD or GPR.
An AGD or GPR where you have more experience doing dentistry, and then you may have the ability, depending on which GPR you go to or AGD program that you go to, you may have the ability to have a couple of rotations in pediatric dentistry, which will enhance your application for the subsequent year, because not only do you have more dental experience, but you have more exposure into the specialty area that you aspire to, which all makes you a better candidate for the specialty. Lots of programs, I know the one we have at Bronx, Lebanon, a lot of programs, it's very rare that they're taking people right out of dental school. Very rare. Very rare. I mean, I don't have the statistics on it, but I know the ADA and ADIA have those statistics of those people that were first year pedo residents. What was their demographic population as far as, I mean, they have it. They have race, ethnicity, male, female, and whether they were recent graduate versus they graduated 2, 3, 4, or 5 years previously. I know at our program, everyone that's first year pedo resident, they have either a GPR or they have some kind of work experience behind them. So I'm telling you that so that you are prepared to continue to get to your goal and your purpose by any and all means necessary, by using all the different ways to do it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So keep in mind, of what the competition and what the marketplace is like for pedo, number one, and then number two, to really understand. I want to make sure that, a lot of programs are not taking people right out of dental school. So if you fit into that category, you may be decreasing your chances this year to get into pedo, which is just something you need to think about and consider as it relates to the question, which is how am I making sure that I'm going to be the best candidate for myself to apply and get this position and get into pedo? What am I doing to make sure that I'm the best candidate? What is the game that's out there? Who am I competing with? What are their credentials, and what are programs traditionally? What are the makeup of the current first year pedo residents at most of these programs? Are they right out of school? Are they 2 years out of school? 5 years? I mean, what's the breakdown? Because that's going to determine how you prepare yourself to be the best candidate. So keep that in mind. If you have some more questions about that too, again, just shoot me an email, newdentistcoach@gmail.com, or you can also with Instagram, continue to follow me on Instagram. I might have some stuff that's on there at Smile Dr. Darwin. And then if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Dr. Darwin Speaks. And if I don't know if you have one for your efforts, but you should get one if you haven't already started one. Get a YouTube channel so that you can run all of your... Huh?
I have one. I haven't made that many videos, but the plan is to start. I did this is the last thing that I did a toothbrush competition last year just with, my follower base off of Instagram, and I did a video just about, the importance of brushing and flossing and how many times, things like that. So that was the first video that I made on my YouTube channel. So anywho, I definitely plan to continue utilizing that and all other social media outlets too. So we're definitely in the same wavelength right there with that.
Okay, good. All right, well, look, keep in contact. Let's plan on talking in about 2 weeks. Give me a call, shoot me an email when the next time you're available, and we'll make it happen. And good luck with the rest of your stuff, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Darwin.
You're welcome. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
So, hey, that was a great call of student Dr. Arnelle Wright, fourth-year dental student at the University of Florida. Man, she's got a great product called the Blueprint. And for some of you new dentists that are dental students at different schools, hey, we all are confronted with the same thing. You go from first and second year, and then you go transition into clinic, and it's like, oh God, I gotta start all over again, or I don't know how clinic works, and how do I schedule my patients, and who does my checking, and this doctor has created a guide that help you with that transition. So would you like to have something like that for your school, or something like that for your situation? Hey, we all need help with certain things, especially things that we have not had any experience in. So I wanted to take the time out today to kind of talk to her, because she's got a phenomenal product that she's trying to disseminate and get out to people. And for her, I don't get the sense that it's about the money. It's about helping people. Her purpose and her intention is to help those that are transitioning. Just like my purpose is to help people like her and other new dentists, as many people as possible, with things like this, transitioning from clinic, from didactics to clinic, transitioning from dental school graduation into residency programs. You kind of heard me talk about her aspiration to become a pediatric dentist and that whole process. And some people are applying to pedo and other specialty programs, not really knowing how tough it is, how much of a competition it really is, and what the game field is. Again, pedo is the number one specialty right now that people are applying to. Applications are skyrocket. So that makes it harder for those spots, for those programs. I think there's like maybe a little less than 100 pedo programs. All that information is available on ADEA. You can Google ADEA, ADEA, American Dental Education Association, and they have all those statistics. Just go on their website. You can find out. They have the latest report for 15-16 about residency programs, who applied, the demographic makeup, all of that. But what I was talking about was spending time with her today on this coaching call that I wanted to share with you all, because it's an example of having a goal and a purpose, and then reaching out to collaborate with other people to make that goal and purpose realized. Again, she's got a great product. We talked to her today about some things that's going to help her expand her product, with the main purpose of helping people, helping her fellow dental students. And, she wants to expand into other dental schools, So she's one of 67 dental schools that all need this product. So hopefully that's been great. This has been another edition of Ask Dr. Darwin, but it's been a special edition in the sense that it's almost like it was also a coaching call where she had a question, and we answered that, but we also were coaching her and helping her with her project, which is the Blueprint. As soon as we get some more information about the Blueprint, that's what happens when you have a whole bunch of coffee today. When we get some more information about the Blueprint, I'll make sure that we get that posted. But follow her. She's student Dr. Arnelle Wright, DMD. She can be reached at the Daily Dentist at gmail.com. And we'll also post some more information down here in the narrative description of this video. We'll have some more of her contact information, and we'll go from there. Again, guys, hope this has been helpful. Again, this is the new dentist coach, Dr. Darwin Hayes. Dr. Darwin Speaks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Some more information, more strategy, more coaching calls like this that are coming up. I'm just pushing out the information, trying to get it to you guys as fast as possible, because it applies to you right now. Not now, but right now. So the faster I can get it out to you, the more hopefully the more helpful it will be. Guys, have a great day. Stay up. Be inspired and get your stuff done. Look at your targets. Stay focused on your targets, and hopefully you'll be able to make this a super Saturday. Have a great week coming up. Take care. Peace.